What's going on, guys? Patrick here, bringing you a brand new video today. We've got another killer video for you guys full of information. Today we're going to be looking at the $1,000 Bitcoin giveaway. We're also going to be looking at Bitcoin's next big resistance, a bunch of bullish news, as well as tons of other news that went on in the cryptocurrency space. But guys, before we get started with that, if you guys are interested in making money with cryptocurrencies, make sure you check out the first link in the description or the first link in the comments for the cryptocurrency trade alert group. I post every single one of the trades that brought me to a six-figure portfolio in the group. So if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis, or you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can copy my exact trade. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very, very passive. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and we have the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space, full of people ready and able to answer any question that you have 24/7. We still have a few coupons left for the 80% off your first month, 80% off your first month. So we are breaking all the barriers of entry to that. And just recently, we were able to capture a nice little long here that put us in a good amount of profit. And we've had people double their portfolio in just a few months by following the 3 simple steps of be patient, apply risk management, and trade only what the market gives you, and don't overtrade. Don't jump into something that's not clear. Just applying that over the last few months. Like I said, we've had people double their portfolio. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. First link in the description. So now let's jump into the $1,000 giveaway. So Bybit is officially launching a giveaway where they're giving away 1,000 USDT that you can win. All you have to do is download their app using this QR code right here. You take out your phone, you scan it, and automatically you're going to be entered to win. Now, before you actually download the app, you're going to need an account. So if you want to create an account, and again, you have to follow the link in the description. I posted, should be the second link in the description. When you create an account using that link and then download the app, you are instantly going to be entered to win $1,000. And I wanted to ask you guys if you think that is something we should be doing on this channel right here, if we should add more exclusive giveaways. I'm thinking what we're going to be doing is, again, people who use the specific link down below, they're going to be entered in the future. When we start doing more giveaways, they're going to be the ones that are entered to win giveaways as well. So again, another reason to sign up. But if you win this free $1,000, nothing to lose. All you have to do is create an account using the link down below, download the app over here, and you're entered to win. And again, there's going to be more future giveaways that we're going to do exclusively on this channel as well. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe for that as well. Now let's jump into Bitcoin, what exactly the price is showing us, what I expect to see in the near future, and the levels that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. So currently, you guys can tell I drew a rectangle over here between $9,000 and $9,200. That to me is the important area to break, the important resistance to break in order for us to turn bullish again. We can see on the 4-hour that we broke below the EMA ribbon after following it for a very long time, since the late January, basically all the way until I would say mid-February. So half a month, pretty much 20 days worth, we were on a bullish trend. You can see we went from the price being roughly 8,500 to a peak of 10,500. So that's a $2,000 gain. Very nice if you were in a trade there. That's 25% without being in a trade. So if you were in a trade, roughly, things could have gone very nicely if you were, again, using an exchange like Bybit where you can leverage. But since then, we have been on a more bearish trend. Now, of course, with a few exceptions here that did not last long, we have been underneath the 4-hour EMA ribbon, which is a bearish side. We came actually to retest this over here, right? This was a long that I was in and the group was in that I mentioned. We were able to actually ride this long up into the resistance, and you can tell that it was rejected from there. And now we're waiting to see if we are going to go back up and retest to see if we break above and start to enter another bullish phase. I look at the 1-hour, the 4-hour, and the daily, and the EMA ribbon to me is just helping me identify a trend and identify simple supports and resistances. It's very easy to use, and include this in your trading. If you look at the 1-hour, it's a little bit less clear of what's going on, especially right now with the ribbon. You guys can tell getting a lot more closer together, the different ribbons. So that to me usually indicates an area which I'm less likely to be trading in, because it is very high risk. Of course, if something is clearly there, we're going to dive into it. But for the most part, these are, again, high risk zones, because we see if the breaks below, the breaks above, the break below, we see this happen a lot more versus what I just showed you guys in the 4-hour, where we don't see that as much. Now, moving on to the daily, very similar thing happened here. Again, ever since the 6th of January 2020, we have been above the EMA ribbon. We saw Bitcoin price go from like 7,400 all the way to 10,500 like we mentioned before. The daily, we saw the 4 hour, we've been above the EMA ribbon. We had been there since like the 26th of January. On the daily time frame, we had been above it since the 6th of January, and we broke below on the 24th or the 25th of February 2020. So for a good period of almost 2 months, we were above the EMA ribbon on a bullish trend. And recently we broke below. Now it's going to be important to see if we stay below for a longer period of time, in which case we can expect Bitcoin to actually find resistance here and continue to have movements like this, however, to the majority downside. But if we do break above this area, again, a very clear region I showed you guys, $9,000, $9,200. If we break above that, both in the 4 hourly and the daily, we are looking at being above the EMA ribbon, which is a very bullish trend. So that over there is what I'm looking at in terms of the bigger picture, the longer term. Of course, in the shorter term, we can have longs and shorts that we can capitalize on. We can see some altcoins are also performing very well that we can make some good gains on. So there's always money to be made in this market. But in terms of the key level that I'm looking at right now, you guys have seen it. I've mentioned it. This is what I'm looking at. Now let's go look at the overall market before we dive into some very bullish news. What we're seeing in the market right now, if this decides to low, let's give it a little bit of a refresh to see what's going on. There we go. $250 billion in market cap. Bitcoin down a very small amount today, relatively sideways over the last 24 hours, which means that that's what we're going to be seeing from a majority of other altcoins. Chainlink, I can already see number 11 spot though, up 11.5%, which again, Chainlink's one I think is going to perform very well in the long term. I've mentioned it a long time ago. It's still continuing to perform well. It's outperforming the market by a significant amount. It's currently at $1.7 billion in market cap, and I expect that to continue to grow, especially once we enter, again, more of a bullish trend. Now, in terms of good news, in terms of bullish news for Bitcoin, again, there's more bullish news than bearish news going on today. We see the RBI's crypto ban has been lifted by the Indian Supreme Court, so maybe that's going to allow a rush of people to come in, a very large audience, again, of people interested. And ever since the bans come in, I get a lot of questions all the time asking me what to do, how to handle it if you're in that position where you're unable to get access to Bitcoin or cryptos. Now, apparently, that's looking to be lifted. So that's good news overall. Now, this is from a very popular show. The show's called Shark Tank. It's on ABC. I'm sure most of you guys have probably heard about it. And if you don't watch it, you've probably at least heard about it. It's where investors get pitched an idea for a business and they can choose to invest or not. It's a very popular show. And one of the sharks on there, Robert Herjavec, again, all these guys are very successful in business and investing in their own right. All of them are. Now, he came out and actually talked in favor of Bitcoin. So I want to play you guys this clip so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. He believes Bitcoin is going to be better in the long term. Now, this is long term. It's going to be better than gold. That's just one man's opinion, but he is, again, pretty much a celebrity investor because he is on the TV show. So, again, when he says something, a lot of people do hear it. So let's see what he says about this.
Actually, one last question. Stocks did horribly, but I know a lot of our fans would want to know, do you like gold? Because gold was way up yesterday. Do you hedge at all with precious metals?
I'm not a big believer in gold. I understand
right.
the people's need to go to it. I just think on a long-term basis, base metals like that are going to be an economic indicator. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin and electronic payments in the future, but I think we're a long way away from that. But in the short term,
so big believer
yes,
in
gold is
Bitcoin. Would you be buying Bitcoin here?
I would be buying Bitcoin.
This price?
I think the price of Bitcoin on a long-term basis will quintuple, if that's a word. It's just, I forget who the analyst yesterday, but he said consumers over the long run always go to convenience. And Bitcoin is just convenience.
So when you hear talk, I mean, I've had people on here with crazy forecasts for Bitcoin.
So as you guys can tell, again, he went out and said that he long-term isn't a fan of precious metals. Short-term, he thinks gold is going to be a good hedge. However, long-term, he's looking at electronic payments like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He primarily mentions Bitcoin. Obviously, it is the biggest one. Now, he says something that I think everybody should listen to, and I think you guys should think about when it comes to actually making your next investment. He said that the analyst previously reported that people in the long term are always going to choose convenience. And I've mentioned this on my channel several times before when I was investing in stocks or, in my stock investments very early on. I'm only 23 right now, so very early on. I invested in Amazon. I invested in Facebook, and the simple reasons are the simple reason why I went ahead and invested in those was convenience. I played the game of, I think people are going to pick convenience long term. No matter what, they're always going to go for easy. You see people complaining about Facebook all the time. You see people complaining about Amazon. Oh, Amazon does this, Amazon does that. It's bad. They, avoid paying taxes. Whatever it is that they say about Amazon, then they go online, they click the buy button, and they shop on Amazon, and the package comes in 2 days. People are not going to move away from convenience in the long term. So keep that in mind when it comes to making your next investment. I think that's a very important rule to remember. And overall, like I said, long term, it's always played off. It's always worked, and it's always played off pretty well. Now, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts. And as always, be subscribed so that if we are bringing back those giveaways that we talked about in the beginning of the video, if that's something you want to see, then make sure you are subscribed. You let me know in the comments, and we'll make sure to include those in future videos. Now, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time for another video.